Well, young Tim, it hasn't stopped snowing in Minnesota.
No.
But we're on the fringe.
Yeah, we're going to head up to the land of the amber waters.
We are?
That's the Dakota word. Minnesota means sky-tinted waters.
Really? I did not know that.
Where beer's catching up to iron.
I'll tell you what, they got a few places you can go sip. I'll tell you what.
As far as sales, beer's catching up to iron.
Really?
Up there.
How do you drink iron?
You don't. You play golf in the iron range, though.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. They got a couple good golf courses.
We should bring an intelligent young lady into this goofy conversation we're having.
Learn how to bow down, my man, because we got the executive director of that great state of Minnesota. And on the line, we have Lauren Bennett McGinty. Lauren, how are you?
Good.
Well, welcome to Distilleries, Breweries, Wineries of the World, and our Links and Libations feature today. And coming from Minnesota, has it stopped snowing up there yet, or are you still got the white stuff around you?
No, it never stops snowing. It's pretty awful. I think even the people who really, really love the snow are about done with it. So.
Well, they say about Minnesota, it's the hardest state to recruit to, but they never leave when they come. So,
yeah.
Is that right? That's pretty good. Anyway, well, welcome. Anyway, you guys have quite an organization up there, Tim. Have you?
Well,
go ahead.
They, many say, some have said there's a bubble up there in a few other states. The scene is saturated. The public is fatiguing from craft beer, but I don't think so, Lauren. Do you?
I don't think so. I don't think that is part of our craft beer vocabulary here. I think, there's definitely a lot of breweries, but what's really happening is that, our Twin Cities areas have started to grow significantly, but we've also seen a lot of spread in other parts of Minnesota.
Right.
So I don't see anybody getting fatigued. I think people are just getting more and more excited for what's coming next.
Well, yeah, those standalone towns, and you have many of them up in the massive state of Minnesota with all those gorgeous lakes, and those officials in those small towns have been aggressive in trying to land a brewery and changing ordinances and putting to valuable properties and getting the whole local scene going. Drink locally.
Exactly.
You know what's amazing? Back in 2011, you had 20 members, and today you must have more than 130 at that fast expansion rate. How many do you have right now?
We do have just over 130, and, we added there were 30 new breweries just last year in Minnesota. So the percentage of growth here is pretty outstanding, and there are more and more being added every day. Coming down the pipe, I just got notifications from about 3 in the last month. So wow. It's great. It's huge, and we're seeing it and the cool part is that Minneapolis has really done a great job. They have a lot of warehouses where people are putting those breweries, but St. Paul is really up and coming now too. They're kind of catching up, and then you've got the suburbs that people are putting breweries into, and it's really exciting. Just a lot going on.
Well, one of the things, Tim, we had this on the first show we did on Minnesota a number of days back. I always find this funny. In the morning, if you get up and you tell your wife you're going to go to Mud Lake,
yes,
there's only 201 of those in Minnesota. If you're going to go to Long Lakes, there's only 154 of those in Minnesota. And if you're going to go to Rice Lake, there's only 123 of those in Minnesota. So if you tell your wife you're going to go to the brewery, you'll be back in about 2.5 years if you do one a week. So, it's quite a place. Did you know there was that many mud lakes up there, Lauren?
I did not. Mud Lake, that one surprises me. I actually grew up near a Long Lake, so that does not surprise me.
Which one? There you go.
Lauren,
I don't know, I guess.
Lauren Bennett McGinty joins us on Distilleries, Breweries, and Wineries of the World, and oh my gosh, up there in Minnesota, it's they're serious. They want eventually you want to be in the same conversation as the West Coast as far as craft beers. So people aren't really coming in to rushing in for the money to flip a craft brewery. They really are looking to the future up there. They want to be consistent and not cachet, I should say.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think people are really laying down roots, and they're taking a good amount of time to be thoughtful before kind of just whipping out, 30 beers that might not be the top quality. That we have a lot of breweries who maybe only have 15 or 20 beers in their repertoire, but they're really, really great beers. And not everybody opens up a production brewery where they're putting out cans or bottles right away either. A lot of people are spending the time to focus and get their tap room going first. So I think there's a huge focus on quality, which is really important for everybody in the brewing industry here in Minnesota.
Yeah, an event that looks really, I love the brochure that you have on this, the All Pins North Summer Brew Fest 2018 tickets. Young Tim just went on sale April 4th.
Right.
There might be one or two left. Tell us about that, Lauren.
Yeah, come on up. It's actually really nice here at that time
It'll stop snowing, bad sledding in June.
Hopefully. So All Pines North is a really wonderful summer event that we do, and it's in Duluth. So we get to trek outside of the Twin Cities to one of our other larger, if you will, metro areas. And so it's on the shores of Lake Superior. It's absolutely beautiful up there. And we have all Minnesota Craft Brewers Guild breweries serving, and it actually immediately follows our Guild Education Conference, the Business and Technical Conference that we host with the Master Brewers Association, District St. Paul, Minneapolis. So we have all of our brewers learning the day before, and then the next day everybody comes out, and all of our craft beer fans get to hang out and listen to live music and try some great summer beers and hang out on the lake.
Well, let's look ahead to harvest time. It's still up nice and warm there shortly after Labor Day. Coming up, your Autumn Brew Review, one of the largest craft beer festivals in the Midwest, I understand.
Yes, yeah, and it's grown every single year since we started it. I mean, I remember going once upon a time right after I turned 21, and there were tons of people there then, and now it's even bigger. It takes place at the historic Greenbelt Brewery in northeast Minneapolis, so it's kind of a really cool scene there as well. You get all of the wonderful historic ambiance, and it's right on the river. So it's kind of just an amazing time to check out all the new fall pieces that are coming, and a lot of people bring out some of those corkier, darker beers and a couple aged pieces to start bringing us, of course, back into the cold weather.
Right.
We only get about 3 months of warm weather here, and then we're back at it. So we have a lot of wonderful, dark, rich beers.
Well, for our golfers that we have in our Links and Libations, it's all about golfing and then about sipping. And what a great state Minnesota has with a tradition of golf. You have a Fazio course up there, Spring Hill Golf Club, that the guys would love to go see. Basically, what they said was that Fazio found a piece of land and just grew grass and put some golf balls down on that. And then going back to the turn of the century in the world of golf for our golfing gurus, there is a golf course up there that actually Donald Ross originally formed, and then RTJ, Robert Trent Jones, then had a hand in.
Oh, may I, Uncle Randy?
Yeah,
I've been waiting all interview to say this.
All right.
One of my favorite towns up there in Minnesota, site of our last Ryder Cup victory, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Is Bewabic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Up in the Iron Range. The quarry at Giants Ridge is one of my favorite courses in the country. Oh, my gosh, Lauren. Have you been up there in the Iron Range and played a little of our great game?
I don't really play golf.
Come on now.
I enjoy golf. I just don't actively play it. But, the Iron Range is absolutely beautiful. I've been up to a couple cabins. I have a family friend who has a Bewabic cabin. It's a beautiful spot.
Oh, my gosh. You've got Northland Country Club up in Duluth, White Bear Yacht Club and White Bear Lake, Hazeltine National, where we won that Ryder Cup, Spring Hill, and Wazata. Is that what it is? Interlocking?
Yeah.
And Dinah. So many great courses. Go ahead. How do you say that, Lauren?
Wayzata.
There you go. Lauren, do you like chocolate?
I like your pronunciation. That was good.
Lauren, do you like chocolate?
I love chocolate.
Did you know that the Three Musketeers bar was made and created in Minnesota?
I did not know that.
I know.
Look at that. That's fun.
All right, let's get back to business, Lauren.
Chocolate beer to follow.
Big presence at the Minnesota State Fair as well for your crafters, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So we kind of, as a member benefit to our breweries, we aim to have all 130 plus of our members featured at some point throughout our 12-day Minnesota State Fair at our Land of 10,000 Beers event, and we put it in the agriculture and horticulture building, so we pair it with some educational events as well, where we have brewers and hop growers and other people from, raw malt, for example, is a really big maltster here in Minnesota, and we get to teach people about not just beer and how awesome this craft beer tastes, but we get to teach them about where it comes from, which I think is a really unique opportunity.
Did you pick up on that, Randy? The land of 10,000 beers?
I heard that. You have one for every lake,
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it's awesome.
These people think there's a bubble up there can take a walk. What is your growth like? 7-8%? And its heyday, it was 20%, whatever. I mean, you only have 11% failure in the craft industry up there. High tech, it's a 90% failure, right, Uncle Randy? Bars and restaurants fail at 60% the first year. You're doing quite well up there, Lauren.
We are.
Not in Minnesota, ma'am, because I'll tell you what, you've got up there, you got more shoreline than California, Florida, and Hawaii combined. So, we've got a lot to explore. And I consider this an invitation by Lauren to come to Duluth, to go all the way up to the top of the state there, over there by Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Did we miss anything, Lauren, today?
Beer does taste better on the boat. Do
we have anything in the agenda we got to put in the calendar that we might have missed?
Anything else, Lauren?
Well, we got one more event too in the winter, to round out our 3 seasons.
Oh, you got that Winterfest.
Winterfest, yeah. So we actually just had our Winterfest, but we tried something really exciting and new this year, kind of following that awesome savor concept, and we paired food with winter beers and
imagine that.
And of course non-winter beers as well, but it was like a beautiful event that took place in the old Union Depot in St. Paul. It's an old train station, and we had some really unique pairings of food and beer and just a great time. So we've got a lot going on up here. There's no bubble.
Thanks,
we
Lauren.
are for sure growing constantly.
It's been popped.
We're really excited about it. Yeah.
Well, we've got our writers featuring putting the eyeballs in Minnesota. Betsy Hill is our editor-in-chief of Links and Libations, and she says we have to go. She's nodding her head. So,
all right. Well, welcome anytime. Absolutely.
All right, we'll be in touch. That is Lauren Bennett McGinty of the great state of Minnesota Brewers Guild. Man, I'll tell you,
1.4 billion with a B to the economy up there. That's half of what the iron mining contributes to the economy in Minnesota.
That's incredible.
We're catching up to the metals.
We have to have her back on. She's a delight.
Yes.
If we can only 10,000 lakes and 10,000 brews.
How can you even talk about a bubble when the supply still lags the demand?
Isn't that amazing? We'll be back on Distillery, Breweries, Wineries of the World, and hopefully going to Minnesota soon. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.